Hey, what's up there, Facebook, YouTube fuckers? Tony Campo here. I'm going to talk to you today in this video about masks, because there's a lot of misconceptions and incorrect information floating around about masks and what their uses and purposes are. So per the CDC, and anything I say you can look up and verify. So again, per the CDC, they want average Joes like you and me to be wearing cloth masks. So it can be anything from a bandana, pretty basic, but everybody can find one of these, or a simple surgical mask. And the purpose of these cloth masks is to prevent water droplets being emitted into the air by the wearer. So you may be asymptomatic and not know it, but keep in mind, again, per the CDC, this is going to protect people when the person wearing the mask coughs, sneezes, or breathes heavily. Breathes heavily. I get it, sure. But you still have a lot of people that think that this piece of cloth is protecting you somehow. It's kind of like thinking a hula hoop is going to stop somebody from throwing a baseball at your face. Same concept. So anyway, this is what they want us to wear. They do not want us to wear N95 masks. They says, do not buy N95 masks. Well, it does make sense because there is a shortage for healthcare workers, and they should have first dibs, I would say. But you and I both know that most people, probably you, I know me, have tried to get them anyway. I get them because I do work in a medical environment. And another false sense of security, because you can go on eBay and buy an N95 mask, like this one, that says N95 right on it, with this cool little carbon activated filter on it, which is bullshit. This mask is good for about half an hour walking through a hospital, and you got to throw it away. Kind of the same case with any cloth mask. If you're in a contaminated environment, you really are supposed to be throwing these away about after 30 minutes, much less a day, 2 days, 3 days, or a week. I know a lot of people are just hanging them on their window mirror and wearing them repeatedly for weeks. So at any rate, this was purchased as an N95 mask. It's not NIOSH approved. Again, CDC website. There's a page talking about fraudulent N95 masks. And it says clearly, if the mask has ear loops, it's not legit. It's not NIOSH standard. It's not NIOSH approved. An approved mask will have bands that go all the way around the back of the head, like this one. Now, an N95 mask will have the contour for the bridge of the nose, which will help in the seal. And again, it'll have the proper material, and it'll have a way to secure it all the way around the back of your head. But you may have an N95 mask that is not doing you any more good than the fucking bandana I just had on my face. And I'll explain. Technically, N95 masks should be fitted. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all, but they do make different sizes, and they're supposed to be fitted. Let me show you this one. If I were to put the bands around my head, which I have done, and I put the mask on, I have gaps all over the place. I can almost fit a finger. I can almost fit a finger through some of these gaps. And this is a legit N95 mask. If there's a gap at all, air travels the path of least resistance, which means if there's a gap that I can almost fit my finger through, that's where my oxygen is being drawn from. It's not going through the filter at all, so I may as well not have a mask on at all. So unless your N95 mask is legit or fits properly, it's not doing you any good. So let's move up to a mask that might do the job. P100 mask. This is a 3M half mask. You can get the full mask. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, you're going to pay a fortune. And when and if you do get one, you still have to get the filters for it. So you can get the lesser expensive filters, again, nearly impossible to find. You'll see like the pink 3M ones, which is basically just a circular piece of fabric that twists on. That's all exposed material, which means it's very easily contaminated. Won't last long. Okay. You can get plastic cartridges that are enclosed that again are very difficult to get, very expensive. But there's one in particular which claimed to last, again by 3M, claimed to last the entire span of a virus outbreak. So, I mean, that's the cat's PJs right there, right? So one of these with the right filter that you don't have to keep changing out all the time, and you know that it's safe. And these do work. It's a big difference. You just hold it up to your face. I can immediately feel the seal all the way around, touching my face at every point, which is critical. But, again, I would be fooling myself because, again, per CDC, I have facial hair. You cannot get 100% seal or guaranteed seal with facial hair. So, unless you have one of these masks and you shave and you have the proper cartridges, you're wasting your time. And let's say, for the sake of argument, that you do procure one of these and the right filters. Who the fuck is going to wear one of these in public? I'm not. I know you're not. So the whole idea of this whole mask thing is utter bullshit. It's scare tactics. Because when you walk into a supermarket or a big box store and everyone's wearing masks, walking like fucking zombies one way down aisles, and they're all wearing masks, it's frightening. It's fucking horrifying, right? It's like out of a bad movie. Scare tactics. I'm not going to be the one to say that masks serve no good at all. If you are sick, or you're around people who are vulnerable, the elderly, or people with conditions that can exacerbate COVID, you should do your due diligence and wear a mask around those people, okay? Again, if you're asymptomatic, you can still spread it, but if you're not actively coughing, sneezing, or breathing heavily, the mask isn't helping anyone else either. So, a lot of it's bullshit. But, for the love of God, if you're somebody that has one of these cheap masks or bandanas, and you're wearing them in your car, or when you're out jogging, or walking with your family, or outside not near anyone, take your fucking mask off because you look like an idiot. So, there's going to be more videos to come. This one's on masks. If you have any questions, hit me up. If you find something that I've said is inaccurate, let me know, but be ready to back it up, and I'll be ready to retract what I said and make a correction. No problem. But aside from that, we'll see you in the next video. Stay safe until then, and fuck off.